Solving inequalities by graphing. Using interval notation to solve inequalities. The first one is a parentheses. We use parentheses when a less than or greater than symbol indicates that the interval's endpoint are not included. Brackets. Brackets are used when a symbol of less than or equal to or greater than or equal to symbols indicate that intervals endpoints are included. The infinity sign is used when an interval continues forever in the positive direction. We use a negative infinity when the interval continues forever in a negative direction. Let's look at some example interval notations. The inequality x is greater than or equal to 2 has the interval notation of bracket 2 comma infinity with the closed parentheses behind it. And the graph is a closed circle on 2 and is going into the positive infinity. We have the inequality x is less than 2, and therefore the interval notation is parentheses negative infinity to 2. As you can see from the graph, it's an open circle on 2 and it goes into the negative infinity infinitely. For inequality 1 is less than x and x is less than or equal to 5, we have parentheses, open parentheses 1 comma 5 and a bracket. This indicates that the interval is only between 1 and 5. And if you look at the graph in the center of the screen for it, there's an open circle on 1 and a closed circle on 5 because that is where it ends. For interval x is less than negative 3 or x is greater than or equal to 4, for this particular inequality, we will have two graphs on this number line. There's an open circle on 3, negative 3, that goes into the negative infinity direction, and there's an open circle on 4 which goes into the positive direction. Therefore, this is how this is written in interval notation. It is parentheses negative infinity to negative 3 or or bracket 4 to the positive infinity for both parts of this graph. Now, solving compound inequalities. Here are some key concepts. A compound inequality consists of two distinct inequalities joined by the word and or the word or. The compound inequality with the word and contains overlap of the graphs of two inequalities that form a compound inequality. The graph of a compound inequality with the word or contains each graph of the two inequalities that form the compound inequality. An example of inequalities with the word and. X is greater than or equal to 3. We have the graph of a closed circle and the line goes to the positive increasing direction of 3. X is less than or equal to 7. There's a closed circle for the graph on point 7 and the line is going to the left, which shows that x is less than 7. Lastly, we have x is greater than or equal to 3 and x is less than or equal to 7. Here, x is essentially between 3 and 7 and is indicated by the graph with the closed circles on point 3 and point 7, and it includes all the points in between. Here are some examples of inequalities with the word or. x is less than 2. Here, there's an open circle on 2, and the line extends in a negative position for showing that x is less than 2. X is greater than or equal to 1 is our next one, and it's a closed circle on 1, and it goes to the increasing position from 1. X is less than negative 2, or x is greater than or equal to 1. Here we have a two-part graph on the same number line. We have an open circle on 2, and it extends in a negative position, which is the direction of the line, and shows that x is less than 2. And we have a closed circle on 1, and it extends in a positive increasing position, which shows that x is greater than or equal to 1. Let's look at problem 1. What is the graph of, we have a bracket, negative 4, comma 6, close parentheses. And how do you write it as an inequality? The inequality negative 4 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than 6 represent the notation bracket negative 4 comma 6 close parentheses, and the graph is indicated below, where we have a closed circle on negative 4, and we have an open circle on 6, and it includes all the points in between.